3-0 lead. A couple of changes. Mark Kiger becomes the first player in postseason history to make his major league debut in a postseason game. He's in there at second base. And now taking over on the mound, Kiko Calero. Pudge Rodriguez to lead it off. Down and away, ball one.
You think Kiger's shaking in his brand new shoes out there, and not because he's cold.
Got to be awfully exciting for that young man.
Well, a couple of days ago, he was hitting ground balls to his kids' Little League team. Wasn't on the roster. And then when Mark Ellis got hurt, they called him up. Sent him to instructional league to get him a few at-bats. Showed up the day of game one.
Rodriguez fights one off. Lifts a fly ball in the right field. Bradley's got it. One away.
Let's go back to how that inning ended. This ball almost ate up. Polanco stayed with it. Great feed to Santiago. And then Guillen tippy-toed around the bag. And it's a nice call by Chuck Merriweather, the first base umpire. He did get his toe back in time.
Alexis Gomez will now come on to pitch hit. Benny Rogers fired up about that inning-ending double play.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Gomez got the start as the designated hitter in game 3. Had 2 hits, 4 runs batted in, including a 2-run home run. In the 4th inning, a bases loaded single off the glove of Chavez, scoring Ordonez and Rodriguez. It gave the Tigers a 4-3 lead. Then in the 6th, he widened the margin with a 2-run home run against Loaiza.
Calero with a good fastball, a really, really good slider. Extremely tough on right-hand hitters. There it was there. Almost a backdoor variety.
Two and two on Gomez. Popped up down the left field line. This may fall for a hit, just foul. This more to see moment presented by Sharp Aquos Liquid Crystal Television. A couple of outstanding plays in this game by Mark Kotze in center field. Came back in the 4th on back-to-back hitters. Came in on one, went back to the wall on the next.
Tommy, we were talking about Kiger making his major league debut here in the postseason. Before game 1, I was walking into the stadium with him. Went into the clubhouse. They let me in. They wouldn't let him in. The guy didn't recognize him. Didn't know who he was.
3-2 pitch. Served into center field. A base hit by Gomez.
We talked a little bit about Dave Dombrowski and how a championship team is built and the way he went about it. You think about the signing of Pudge in 04, and then they got Guillen in a trade in 04. Then they signed Maglio Ordonez. They got Craig Monroe off of waivers a few seasons back. Polanco, Bonderman, they traded, was in the Jeff Weaver deal. And then the homegrown guys they have, like Granderson and Inge and Zumaya and Verlander, guys coming through the organization.
And then he brought in the right skipper to get it all done.
Yeah, absolutely. A skipper he hired when he was general manager of the Florida Marlins. When Dombrowski put that club together to win the World Series You know, Dombrowski, one of those whiz kids. I mean, he was around under the tutelage of Roland Heeman so many years in Chicago with the White Sox, worked his way up, and was so highly thought of before he even hit his 30th birthday among the all-time youngest general managers in the history of baseball. Led the Marlins to that World Series title, as we mentioned, and then you know the rest of the story. The owner, Wayne Huizenga, tells him, get rid of everybody we have. So Dombrowski was left really floundering down there in Florida. He built the franchise back up, had a big hand in the 2003 Marlin team that won the World Series because of all those moves. Larry Beinfest, their current general manager, had a lot to do with that title as well. But then Dombrowski came here to Detroit, where he was not only the general manager but the president of this franchise. And here he is again, knocking on the door of another trip to the series. And his running mates with him.
And then on the other side of the coin, when you look at what Billy Beane has done with this Oakland A's ball club and how competitive they continue to be when they lose their great players every year because of the constraints for their payroll.
Two and one to count on Brandon Inge. 2-2. Inge, in fact, is the only guy left when Dombrowski took over here.
The only guy left on this team since Dombrowski got here, but 10 guys on this team from that 119 loss season of 3 years ago.
Yep.
They know how to lose. Now they know how to win.
2-2 on Inge. Struck him out. Here's tonight's WebMD injury report. We'll focus in on Joel Big Zamaya's injured wrist.
Big Zamaya.
And they're calling it tendonitis in his wrist, the top of the wrist, rather than underneath on the palm side. And it's filtered into his forearm a bit. To get an inside look at injuries affecting your team, go to WebMD.com and search sports injury. Ramon Santiago with two away and a runner at first. Fouled away. Here's Chris Myers.
All right, Tom, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but I did talk to trainer Kevin Rand of the Tigers about Zamaya, and they've been treating it all day with a laser treatment, which they said keeps it warm. In the cooler weather, there's greater risk of further tendon inflammation. He has been taking anti-inflammatories. They hope that he'll be able to go tomorrow if they need him. And it's something the medical staff is keeping an eye on.
Oh, great. So if he's feeling better, he'll come out blowing his fastball at about 111.
1-1 to count on Santiago. Look ahead to the Athletics' ninth inning. They'll have a top of the order. Kendall, Kotsay, and Bradley coming up. On the ground, off the mound. And Kiger actually gets to touch the ball. Welcome to the big league, son. We're going to the ninth. 3-0 Tigers. Are the Tigers indeed a team of destiny here in 2006? They lead 2-0 in this best-of-7 American League Championship Series. They lead 3-0 in the game. And Todd Jones trying to nail it down in the bottom of the ninth. He faces Kendall. It's interesting to note that in the ninth inning, after Jones retired the first two batters in game 2, up came Kendall, base hit. Up came Kotsay, base hit. Up came Bradley, base hit. And then Thomas the fly ball to end the game. Foul ball by Kendall.
And those hits with Jones protecting a 3-run lead. Same circumstance here today.
Lou, you had some interesting things to say. You know, a Detroit fan came over to you the other day and, why isn't Zamaya the closer? He throws 100 miles an hour. Why is he the closer instead of Todd Jones? And you had some very interesting things to say about that.
Well, Jones has got the experience. You've got to have experience in that closer's role. Zamaya is learning pitching in those setup roles. I wouldn't be surprised if the next few seasons that you'll see that young man pitching, closing baseball for the Tigers. But right now, the experienced guy is Jones. He's had the job done all year, and Leland likes experience in that role.
Well, the great Ernie Harwell gave Jones his nickname. He calls him Roller Coaster because it isn't always pretty, but he usually gets it done. An up and down ride with Jones.
Breaking ball blown away, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kendall.
Jones himself said, hey, if you don't like the way I get it done, go get yourself a sandwich. He says either way it's going to be over in 15 or 20 pitches, one way or another.
Well,
Tapper left side, Inge charges, fields cleanly, 1 away. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game, starter Kenny Rogers. The Tigers depending on Rogers tonight. You can log on to worldseries.com/Fox Sports and vote for your most dependable player of the postseason, plus a chance to win Chevy's most dependable truck, the all-new Silverado. It's hard to imagine so far there's been a more dependable arm in either league in the playoffs than Kenny Rogers. And who would have thunk that when this postseason began?
well, what you like about Jones, talking about Jones, notice how he just throws strike 1, gets ahead of the hitter. You know, boy, these different closers on teams that are struggling some. Ball 1, ball 2, and you sit there next to your pitching coach as a manager and you say, fasten your seatbelt, we're in for a rocky ride.
When you're a closer in this situation, you know the opposing team, each hitter's trying to do more than they should. Late in the game, a lot of guys go up there trying to hit a 3-run homer with nobody on.
Tigers gunning for their 6th shutout in 76 postseason games. Slow roller up the middle, going to be a tough play for Polanco, and he made it.
Tigers also looking for their 6th straight postseason win.
What a great time to get hot.
Bradley on the ground up the middle. Santiago throws. The Tigers have a 3-0 lead. A win away from their first trip to the World Series since 1984.